it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today's project is this one, or a variation of this one anyway. This uses new products, uses old products as well, or existing products as well. So we have used, I have used the Butterfly Beauty Thinlet dies, which bundle with the Beauty Abounds stamp set, which I have used, and the Crackle paint stamp, which is gorgeous. It's a huge background stamp, and I think it's probably going to become my favourite background stamp. It's gorgeous. So what I have used, let me just show you, is, so this is Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay, which I think of as being kind of cousins. So I've used some of the ribbon from the tea room ribbon combo. So this is the combo, so you get vanilla and Coastal Cabana, and they're both with a copper edging, which are gorgeous. They come as a combo in the annual catalogue, page 201, and you get 4.6 metres or 5 yards of each, and they're an eighth of an inch wide. They are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So yeah, so that's the ribbons I've used. I've used copper for the mat, except I did gut it, so it's just a frame that I've then put the Bermuda Bay on top. I've heat embossed in copper, and I've die cut in champagne. And then on the inside I've just got a piece of Whisper White with Hello in Coastal Cabana ink. So that's the inspiration piece, if you like. And I'm now going to do it in monochrome with a twist. So I'm going to use basic black. I'm using the black foil, which has carried over from the, or is carrying over from the Autumn Winter catalogue. I have already die cut this, but I will show you all about that. And then I've got a piece of Very Vanilla for my stamping and a Very Vanilla card base. So first things first, let's have a look at the dies. The dies are huge, as in there's two sheets. So you've got two that look very similar, but this is a more solid piece, and then this is the outline. I've just used the outline piece. There are a couple of the dies that cut the stamps. So this stamp and this stamp are this die and this die. Everything else is just dies, so there are no other dies that cut from the stamps. But you've got fronds, you've got twirly bits, lots and lots of butterflies. You've got these tiny butterflies which you can either use to have tiny butterflies, or you can have them so you can cut butterflies from your mat. It's just divine, absolutely divine. I love these, and again, these will layer. So you've got a couple of each of those. These little butterflies here, oh, gorgeous. So quite a few duplicates, and of course you can cut the butterflies from the big piece as well, so you don't have to use the whole of the big piece, you can just cut them out. Now I did die cut in advance, so let me show you that, and I did use the precision base plate. They are quite fine dies, particularly this one, particularly because I was using foil cardstock, I wanted to make sure that I got a really good cut. So I did use the precision base plate, but it will cut without. I have done it without. I just don't think I would do it without if I'm using foil, because the foil can be quite delicate. So that is that. Let us now do some heat embossing. Now, there's part of me that says you don't really need the embossing buddy for this, but equally, it just feels wrong not to. Now I'm not quite sure what order I'm doing my videos in. I'm doing a bit of a batch recording, and I have got a video which I may have already shown you where using the embossing buddy would be such a wrong thing to do. So I have mounted the sticker to the back of my stamp, so it is very, very sticky. It's a cling mount. What I would say is do be careful that you don't get air bubbles, and if you do get air bubbles, just use your piercing tool just to make a very small hole so that you can get the air out. Otherwise you're going to have problems with air in under your sticker. So there is our beautiful Crackle paint stamp. I've embossing budded my piece of vanilla cardstock already. I'm just going to add some Versamark ink. I think I need to re-ink this at some point. I can feel a video coming on. So that's that. I'm going to use my H block, which apparently has got glue on it. Desperately need to do some cleaning at some point over the Christmas and New Year break. I'm going to use that as something just to make sure everything gets properly stamped. So just run it over the back of your stamp, or your back of your cardstock. I put the cardstock for a background stamp. I do find it easy to put the cardstock on the stamp rather than the other way round. Then grab my chamois and just rub that over the back. I don't mind too much if I leave Versamark on the stamp. It doesn't actually do it any harm, and in fact there is an argument to say that it does it some good. Then very carefully, and I mean incredibly carefully because it has got an enormous sticker on the back, peel it off. I mean, I say sticker, it's not really a sticker, it's just a sticker. And then pop it on back into your box. Right, get rid of that and grab my copper embossing powder. Just get my high-tech tool. Pop that there for the moment because I can do most of it actually without having to worry too much about that. And of course the key to this is to not smudge what you've already got on. There's a few bits there that I don't really want. Not least of all on the back. Okay, so let's get rid of that and get my cloth to get rid of all the stray bits of embossing powder. Grab my trusty cheese board, which I will just be using as a backing piece, and heat up the heat tool. So we are now in the lead up to Celebration, if my planning is right. Otherwise we're in Celebration. So do remember that the key is, when you're shopping with me, to make sure you do it in multiples of £45 so you get free stuff. Or alternatively, if now is the moment that you have decided to join my team, yay! You get the two options. So I can talk and do this at the same time, and hopefully you'll be able to hear. So there are two options this year for joining. Apologies for not remembering the euro values. I will get them in my brain. But you can join my team whichever Stampin' Up country you are in Europe. So the UK, France, the Netherlands, Austria or Germany. And the deal is you spend the same amount as you would at any other time of the year. So in the UK that's £99, and I think in Europe that's 129 euros. I will check the values before we finish. But instead of getting £130 of product, you get 170. And then you can opt to add on the Craft and Carry tote, which once we get to Celebration will only be available to new demonstrators. So even existing demonstrators will not be able to get it. We've been able to get it throughout December. So yes, and it's gorgeous. I did a video on it not that long ago, so do go and check that out. Okay, that looks pretty close to being done and is gorgeous. I love the Crackle paint. Can you see that? I mean, oh, love it. It's wafting over my grid paper nicely, but hey-ho. So yes, I'm trying to find my celebration. Oh, there it is. My celebration brochure. So let me get the euros. So it's 230 euros of product, or £170, for 129 euros or £99. That's all you spend, and that includes free shipping. So that's 55 euros or £40 more than usual. And then you can add on the craft and carry tote, and that will be 160 euros or £125, which actually saves on how much we had to spend in order to get it as existing demonstrators. So yes, there is a limit, as in there are not endless supplies of the tote, so do bear that in mind. Right, okay, so that's going to go on there, but before we do that, we're going to stick everything together. And somewhere I've got some snail, there we are. So yes, but if it's not the right time for you to join up, that's fine too. Just make sure you make the most of Celebration by spending multiples of £45 and getting free product. Everyone gets free stuff during Celebration, whether you shop, host a party, and that can be a Facebook party, so we can do that online or in person, or if you join. Now if you host, what am I looking for? The ribbon. So I'm just going to tie my ribbon round here before I stick everything together, because it is so much easier that way. Trust me, I found that out the hard way. So yes, if you host a party, you get your usual stamping rewards, but if the party spends or has orders of at least £200, you get an additional. Sorry about that, the battery ran out. So where was I? Yes, so if you have a party or spend yourself £200 or more, then you get an extra £20 of rewards, which is always a good thing to know about. And that seriously is whether you, so I'm just using the grid lines to help line this up. So yes, it doesn't actually have to be literally a party, it can just be a sizable order. So please bear that in mind. We all like free stuff. Because this whole thing is going to be popped up, I'm using dimensionals to stick that down with. Now I am going to add the bow after the event, because it's going to go in amongst the butterflies, so this is going to then sit over the top. So the bow is going to be probably there, but as you can imagine, trying to fit the bow or the butterflies over the bow, interesting. So I'm just adding some little dots of glue, not a huge amount, it doesn't need a huge amount, this is good glue. I do love our liquid adhesive, it has to be my favourite. So I'm going to add more where there are larger areas, but it's a basically flat card, so I don't have too much of an issue with bits kind of not being flat, if you see what I mean. That's probably all I need. So let me pick that up and pop it down just with the knowledge that I want to be able to get in there. So I'm just going to press that down. So yes, we can do virtual parties. So we can do a Facebook virtual party. So if you're not local to me, do be in touch and we can sort that out. They can be such fun. And we can do, you know, scavenger hunts and all sorts of things and have giveaways and all sorts. So, so yes, for those, basically you just sort out who you want to invite, and we set up a Facebook group and run it out of that. And it's just, yeah, a good fun event. So don't think you have to do it in person, and we can do live crafting along the way. So yeah, and I tend to do things like, you know, the first person to do whatever or find whatever gets little prizes. So they can be a really good fun event. And then if you're the person that has organised it all, you get to keep the rewards. So all good fun. Oops. There we go. That is our front piece. Now before I get too far along, I want to stamp on the inside, because we might as well add a little sentiment on the inside like we did before. We did hello last, so we're going to do for you this time. So grab a block. Actually, we're going to say thanks. So that was me thinking it was for you. Never mind. Memento Tuxedo Black ink, because we're working in monochrome, so that seems kind of the right thing to do. And stamp. There we go. Just very simple stamping. Leave that to dry whilst I add some dimensionals to the back here, because I just want it all popped up a bit, because why not? Everything's better with a bit of dimension. So the other thing to think about, sorry, my brain is all over the place, butterfly brain, sorry, that was very sad. The other thing to think about is if you do join my team early in January, so anytime from the 3rd of January, we have our next on-stage Stamping Up convention in April. In the UK it is in Telford, so it's nice and central. And if you join at the beginning of January, you will get an opportunity to register. The registration starts, I want to say the 15th of January, but it's kind of early, mid-January. And they do tend to sell out quite quickly, these events. So if you sign up early, you could come along, and it would be lovely for you to come to your first Stamping Up on-stage convention and for me to meet you and all that good stuff. So, yeah. There we go. Finished. 2 very different looks. 1 set of products. I love how you can make such different things with basically the same basic products. So I hope you enjoyed that. Excuse me, something came up and said hello. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you are falling in love with the new spring summer product. I love the Crackle paint. It is definitely going to be one of my favourites. It's just a beautiful background, and it actually doesn't matter if you don't do it very well, and we like things like that. So thank you very much indeed for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!